Moon switches looking clean. They're super, super nice, Blaze. I'm actually kind of excited to use them. Okay, first we're gonna talk about these switches. These are from Agile. So, quick little note on these. These are full nylon houses, 63.5 gram springs. So these are, again, they sent me these as one of my sponsors, but we're still gonna take a look at them. They're also factory lubed, like hand lubed from the factory, which I believe was only done by one other switch, which I think was the matcha lattes or something. So some experimenting, some notes. I did open them up and I did lube like 5 of them. And then I did like a blind test to myself because I put little marks on the bottom with a pen or with a permanent marker. The lube job in them, pretty good. I did, with the 5 variants, I did go really heavy with one of them, and I think I slightly preferred it. But to, like, unless you're sitting there trying to discern sound from sound, you might not notice it. So kind of just like the Wuche ones. I think the Wuche's done a little bit better. Like, I'm talking a hair. But these are actually pretty good for pre-lube switches. Link for the switches. They should be on Agile's website right now, I believe. All right, so we got our Moon switches. Let's open up our Mode 80 here. So this is a sponsored stream by the people at Mode. So we will be building this, putting it together. They did send me this to put together. Some notes about this as well. There is a current sale going on. Well, I guess offering from Mode, being that the 80 units start at $400 now. So this is to, I guess, help facilitate their move, which I think is a pretty good price for the Mode units because I've always been a big fan. This is yes, this is indeed the lilac one. Is it lavender or lilac? I don't know what they classified this as. Pink. It looks beautiful though. I have to admit, as per Mode fashion, everything's absolutely flawless. I mean, I've built customer units, so just so everyone's aware, lavender, lilac, yeah, this lavender. Just so everyone's aware, like it's not just one-offs. I've built so many client units for Modes and they've all been beautifully anode. So quality is always top tier. I do like the new approach to packaging. Sorry, I'm talking at the floor. The new approach to packaging to me is a lot nicer. Got a little Mode PCB here. I think this is the Hot Swap PCB. I'll have to double check. That's a pretty color. It is. I really like the color too. We have some foam, which we're probably going to be using on the bottom because I think the Mode 80 kind of needs it. I also want to use the mid foam again today. Can anyone drop the mech link? And then we have a plate. And I think this is carbon fiber, which we're going to use today too. They give you basically, with the exception of switches and lubed switches, which you can find nowadays, they give you pretty much everything you need. Half plate? I don't have a half plate. Okay. You guys are pretty familiar with this. 2 giant flex cuts on the PCB itself. They do have the components on the top, which is interesting, of the keyboard. So typically you'd find these diodes on the bottom, but this helps with the stack mount of the Mode 80. Posture check, got you. My posture's awful today. So if you guys are wondering like why there are diodes on the top, it's to prevent the diodes from hitting anything on the stack mount. So. And for the Mode 80, this is the bottom foam that I use. It doesn't cover everything. It realistically only covers your alphas. Sometimes I even trim this down, but it's not a huge piece of foam on the bottom. I have to admit though, going back to the Mode 80 for just 1 sec, I really love the side profile of the Mode 80. I've always have. I love simplistic side profiles just as much as I like more complex ones. So I love these white and purple tones. People think eggs and bacon and stuff should only be eaten during the mornings. Bro, I have that stuff at night. You think I care? Eggs and bacon? Please, that's an all day thing for me. As a lifelong vegetarian, eggs are acceptable anytime. Eggs are so good. They're always great. Eggs and bacon for dinner is weird. How is it weird? Explain, Pander. I've been slowly cutting down my potato intake. I think I've been eating too many potatoes. Ooh, that kind of sounds pretty hot right now. Did we get everything? Did I miss any solder joints? I always miss one. It's like tradition. I think I got them all. I'm pretty positive I did. Yeah, we're good, we're good. A lot of people ask what do the tattoos mean. They're a lot of them are meaningless. I think I convinced myself when I was growing up and got them that they had meaning, but I got most of my tattoos around that era. I want more tattoos, but I'm also nervous. Just because I don't know what I want, you know? Like, I haven't really decided. Every time I'm like, ah, this would be cool, and I'm like, yeah, never mind. But this is a pretty thick, plush piece of foam in the mode. So we will be putting this in. And this should go like right here. So these are to isolate the gasket mount here. Or to isolate the top mount rather. So little gaskets that slip on. Do you prefer the Viper over the G Pro now? No, I'm charging the G Pro. Okay, here's the weird thing though. There are some days I feel like I'm better with the Viper playing video games than the G Pro. It's just like a what I feel like for the day type thing. It's gonna have a good balance, exactly. But there are some days I love the G Pro and I hate the Viper. And then there's some days where I'm like, oh, the Viper kind of slaps. Let's put away the G Pro for now. But I will say though, I overall prefer the G Pro more than I prefer the Viper. I have to admit though, I like the fact that it's not as tricky to assemble, which is kind of nice. I got a custom piece by Leonardo mouse coming. Ooh, I love mine. Mine just needs to charge. Actually, it's not even on the charging wire right now. Question, does the G Pro have a charging mat or stand? Because low key, I don't love plugging it in to charge it. I kind of like the Viper where it kind of has a stand and you charge it that way. Okay. Oh, this is the bottom of my F1 because I wanted to show you guys. I love it. It's so cool. So this should have a bit more of a foamy sound signature, which I kind of like about the 80 is you can go both ways. You don't have to build it this way here, but I kind of like it this way. Solder fumes bussin'? Huh? What? We're using this was just like a regular old PBT set on this, so honestly, not a bad comparison to make. Since both are PBT. But there we go, both mode 80s. I do love this green. It's a beautiful green. This is also using the shiny bottom. Hey, it's a shiny bottom. So this one here has mid-plate foam, but no bottom foam. This one here has bottom foam and mid-plate foam. This is using aluminum plates. This is also using a long pull switch. This is not using a long pull switch. These are using the moon switches, and this is using carbon fiber plates. So let's actually just take them both off desk pads, and then we'll compare them with desk pads. So flex-wise, there's no flex on either one, but this is basically how a long pull switch would sound on it. Pretty nice. Now with the desk pad, big difference with the desk pad. And again, this is the aluminum plate. Aren't moon switches long pull? They might be. I don't think they're as long as the other ones. They don't feel as harsh of a bottom out. I don't know all the specs of the moon switches. Let me double check. These are new to me too. Are they long pull? I'm not too positive. All right, now we can try this guy. and we'll take a look at the build after we're done this. I prefer long pull switches these days. Ooh, these actually... I kind of like this build more than the other one. These definitely have like a KTT Rose feel to them, the switches. Ooh. Okay, okay. I kind of like this one here a little bit more. Ooh, not bad, dude. Is the green mode oolong? It is oolongs, yes. I do prefer the green one with ABS keycaps. I do prefer that. That's not what he typed? Huh? That's what I typed. What the hell? Nice. When are the TKL size felt max back in stock? I think they said soon. I asked them recently. It's a super solid spacebar sound too. Sometimes it's hit and miss with spacebars, but this is actually pretty good. It sounds exactly like KTT Roses, just without having the work of having to lube them. These sound like a little bit harsher and louder than KTT Roses, but these feel almost like a KTT Rose and almost sound like one too. Interesting. Very nice. I like this though. I mean, as per norm, I like the Mode 80s. They're good. How do you get rid of the leaf tick in your switches? You just gotta lube them properly. This makes me want a Mode 80 so bad. They're nice. They're nice boards, dude. They are honestly beautiful. Compared to oolongs, I like oolong switches, but I kind of prefer these in the mode over the oolongs. I don't know if you can make a top mount to be brighter sounding. Yeah, you know what it is though, Adam? It's the foam in between the PCB and plate. That with top mount, it really helps. And then you have the option of putting something underneath, so you can go either way. These are completely stock, yeah, Pander. I think these moon switches are gonna be like probably a pretty popular switch, honestly. Side to side comparison, yeah, for sure. There's the green next to the... Let's take another look at the board. I like this color combo. That's cute. This is really pretty. This is a really nice color combo. I confused bad springs with leaf tick. Yeah, it's very common that people do that. Very, very common. People confuse the two. Very nice though. Honestly, a really nice offering for Mode. I've, again, always been a fan of the Mode 80s. The only time I wasn't a fan was the high price point near the beginning of when they started selling them. Those Founders Edition ones, I think there was still too much. But everything looks good. It's a really solid looking keyboard. So pretty damn nice, guys. But I think a few key notes with this. I think stack mount ends up being a little bit, again, we haven't tested it today, but I've tested it in the past. Stack mount's always been a little bit too muted for me. But if you're interested in like more of a muted sound signature mixed with a little bit of like, that, you know, typical foamy, marbly sound signature, I think that's the mounting system you want to go for. I think if you're more interested in a brighter sound signature, don't use any foams, just go top mount. I do feel like it's a bit hollow that way there though, with the Mode 80s. So I always recommend the mid foam or the bottom foam. Either or you can get away with. All right, guys, enjoy Diego's stream. I love you guys. Peace out, everybody. Love you guys. Bye, everybody.